Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian welcoming you back, at long last, to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Today's episode is going to be another off-season episode, as our previous season went quite well. We won 93 games, lost 69. Nice. And then, unfortunately, the LA Dodgers were able to defeat us quite handily in the league championship series, which is unfortunate. But you know what? We just have to keep pushing on, right? Now, we're in kind of an odd situation now. I said that at the beginning of every episode, it seems like, but it's always true. We have consistently done quite well during the regular season. We've built a pretty solid regular season machine at this point, as confirmed by the fact we've won 90 games or more for the last 5 years in a row. And we've made the playoffs each of those 5 years, in different configurations, of course. But we really haven't lasted in the playoffs. And in point of fact, in the past 3 seasons combined, I have 1 win. So whatever is getting us to the playoffs is disappearing when we get to the playoffs. And that's obviously very troubling indeed. We need a solution to that problem. And that might include investing more heavily in the bullpen. It might include trying to get a couple of premier players or something. Or we might just have to hope for more luck. Because the postseason... Let's talk about board games for a minute, because I think this will make a little bit of sense to you. So, a lot of board games have dice. And people like dice because they're very visceral about being able to shake them. There's that toy factor. But there's also the idea that they create drama and they create randomness. Whereas your Euro-style games typically don't have dice at all. Or if they do have dice, they play a very minor role. And baseball is more a Euro game during the regular season, where randomness, you know what, it plays a factor definitely, but generally speaking, over the course of 162 games, the best team is the one with the best record. And yeah, there's lots of little fluctuations and stuff. Like maybe the number 4 team is better than the number 3 team, because the difference is only 1 game, whatever. But once the playoffs start, it's all about the dice chucking. And this is especially true in a short series, like a division series. So we really just need a bit more luck to get out of that round and let the general fact that our team is better subside. Another thing we really could pay attention to this offseason is really improving the bench. Because one issue that we've had is that sometimes our very best players disappear in the playoffs. Now, it could just be they're not very good in the playoffs. I'm trying to remember the name of the book. Oh, it's actually called The Book by Tom Tango, that's right. Where Tom Tango goes into a lot of detail about clutch performances, and it turns they're just not repeatable. You can even say David Ortiz as a clutch hitter, and you're free to think that, but it's not true. He's just a really damn good hitter that's put in positions where his really damn good hitting could be really effective. But clutchiness doesn't exist. At least not in a repeatable way. And again, playoffs are dice chucking. Once you get into the playoffs, you really don't know what's going to happen. And something like a 10 for 21 performance in the division series, which is not quite a 500 average, is very possible. But it doesn't mean that that player is actually a 500 hitter, or that they would even hit 500 if you played those 3 games, or 4 games, or 5 games again. I guess number 21 in Division Series only makes sense to went to like 5 games or something. But anyway, I think you get my point. So, I'm loath to change my approach too much. Because I think the most important thing is sustainable success. We need to win the Euro game so we can get into a position to win the Ameritrash game, where it's all about rolling them bones. So I don't want to change my approach too much just for the sake of mitigating dice rolls when, that might have long-term deleterious effects. So, we have big decisions to make, as we always do, beginning with a number of people about to hit arbitration and want an awful lot of money. And everything I just talked about is all leading myself to one very important decision. I need to start dialing back on scouting and player development. I need the money. Yes, I can easily find somebody to lend me some cash to help me get through things. But at the end of the day, I need to start investing more in the players I've already got than spending so much money making new players. So I'm going to go into scouting and development. I'm going to start cutting to the bone. Okay, league baseline is $8 million. I'm going to cut this down to $12 million. It's because it thinks I'm over budget. That'll get fixed here in just a moment. So I just come back here and do it again. There we go. And then player development. This needs to come down a lot. In fact, I'm going to cut it down to the league baseline. Done. That felt brutal, but it had to be done. Because if we can't keep the players that we have developed, we'll never get a Hall of Famer. And second, I won't be able to make important additions to the team. So, let's talk about what went well and what didn't go well. So we can start identifying those players that we want to prioritize, the players that we'd like to bring back. Also, I have to hire a coach, I think. I need to do a hitting coach in AAA. I'd actually like to promote Mr. Kevin Hooper if you'd agree to it. Nice. I'm going to promote Kit to high A. Oh, I do need a new first base coach. That's right. Mr. Kieran Madison has done incredibly well in AAA. But he's not actually a great coach. What about Kevin Dixon? Yeah, Dixon is actually arguably much better. Now, what manner of person do we want? We don't want normal. Although, actually, it doesn't matter. I want someone who's good at teaching base running. That's kind of an issue for us. Ideally, someone who's easygoing. I think that would help fix our staff cohesion a bit. Do we have anyone in the minors who's easygoing? We have Madison. And Madison wouldn't be a terrible choice, but he also wouldn't be a great choice. And the thing we needed most, as I said earlier, was we needed someone to teach running. You have another easygoing coach. We have 2 others, but neither one of which would make good base coaches, I don't think. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Kit, I can't give you the job I want to give you. So the question is, do I reward Kieran Madison, make him our first base coach, and accept the fact he won't be quite as good as another coach who might get off the free agent market, but reward success within the organization? Or do we start thinking about finding someone on the open market who's easygoing? Because easygoing, I think, would really help bring a lot of our coaches together. So let's actually go ahead and check the free agent market, and we're looking specifically. Here we go. I want choose reputation is. Oh no, it's not reputation. What is it called? Poop. Personality. That's what I want to filter for. Choose personality. There you go. Easygoing. So just eliminate everyone who's not easygoing from the consideration here. And now this filter in mind, we're going to switch to coach ratings. And now this should only be giving me people who are easygoing. And then I really want somebody who can help with the running game, but I want somebody who's just great overall. Colby Bird certainly seems like he'd be a great fit. And even a good fit to be a bench coach down the road. And Mr. Bird, where are you working right now? You aren't. I'm willing to do it. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Let's offer him a deal as our first base coach. And then I do need to hire a new AA hitting coach. I really wish they had a drag and drop thing here. Because I can't do the thing that I want to do, which is I can't promote him because it just doesn't show up in the list. It's because there's too many options, right? There's too many options, so the game doesn't know how to handle it. So I'm just going to go ahead and hire a new high A hitting coach. Like Mr. Todd Erdos here. And that'll be that. Okay, so coach hiring is done for the moment. Now let's talk money. I have $28 million in extensions, which is a lot more than it sounds. But elephant in the room is Garrett Gunnels. Garrett Gunnels had an outstanding season, and he has been consistently our best offensive contributor. He's been relatively healthy. If any Pittsburgh Pirate ever deserved a long-term deal for a lot of money, it's probably Mr. Gunnels. So let's talk to him about that. However, unfortunately, Mr. Gunnels doesn't actually want a long-term contract at the moment. Let's see if we can talk him out of that. 5 years, $12.6 million. No options. Nope. That doesn't even phase him. What if I gradually step it up? Like that. No. And so that's just where we are right now. The ship to get him to sign a long-term deal has probably sailed. At least in the short term. So we're just going to go ahead and give him his 1-year contract. I'm not going to mess around, but I'm maybe going to give him a bit more. $12 million, submit offer. That's one headache. gone. Caleb DiMuzio. He still has lots and lots and lots of offensive talent. $3 million is worth it. It's just unquestionably a good decision. He is grumpy. Why are you grumpy? What is making you grumpy? I don't know how you could be unhappy with your role on the team. You've been starting, haven't you? Do you start at 121 games this season? I don't know why you're unhappy about your role, but if you're going to be a little bitch about it, then arbitration it is, I guess. Jordan Walker. Man. I kind of can't afford him. I don't think I can justify spending $8 million on a third baseman when there's other things I could be doing with my money. So, let's talk about Mr. Walker. Up until this season, Walker was pretty reliably a 3 or even 4 win player. $8 million for that kind of player is worth it. It's objectively worth it. But his power went down a lot last season. A lot. And if he doesn't have elite level power, the rest of his game isn't good enough to carry that. So I'm going to come back to you, Mr. Walker, and then decide how we're going to address you. Zion Rose. He is what he is at this point. He's a good power hitter with good defense and not much else. And pretty decent base running for a catcher. Am I upset that I picked him 8th overall? I'm not. Would I have liked him to have turned into something better? I would. But what we have is a reliable catcher who doesn't get hurt and who hits for a good amount of power. Is that worth $8 million? Considering that the worst season he's ever had, which was his rookie season, he still managed to produce a win and a half. And a win is probably worth about $8 million normally. I think it is. I think it's worth keeping him. Especially because catchers are hard to find, and we don't have a good catcher in our minor league system right now. So, Mr. Rose, I'm not giving you $11 million, but I will give you $8 million. Nate Hyde. I think the experiment of having him be a starter is already proven to be dead. But he's a more than capable reliever, and all he wants is $2 million. I'm very pleased with that. I will give him his $2 million happily, and continue on with my life. Gafredo Romo. He wasn't good, but he wasn't bad either. He shows a lot of growth in his peripherals. And I think it's too early to give up on him. Because he's got really good stamina, 2 fantastic pitches, 1 that's well on the way. He is a bit susceptible to the gopher ball, but that's going to be an easier challenge in Pittsburgh than just about anywhere else. All he wants is $1.4 million. I think it's worth paying that to find out. Brady Lejeune-Diakudis, didn't really get a chance to pitch very much for us. He thinks he should be a closer. I don't know that maybe that's the best way to use him. Maybe it is. I don't know. But again, I'm comfortable with paying that much money to find out. These are all pretty low. I'm not promising you a role, though. You'll use you where I want to use you, and you'll deal with it. So I'm going to come back to Walker. Let's talk about our free agents. Mr. JJ Goss is an on-base machine with really good power. And I don't know if you remember, but last season, our previous best first baseman, Mr. Will Simpson, utterly collapsed. We went from being one of those productive players on the team to just being hot garbage. And that's a problem. He is very much a man who makes his living based on how hard he hits the ball. His isolated power was not as good as in the past, but still quite good. The problem is he just wasn't making contact. And we have an additional tricky bit, which is Mr. Jeremy Van Sant, who shows every indication of being as capable as Will Simpson, if not more. All this combined means bringing JJ Goss is really smart, and promoting Van Sant is even smarter. So let's go ahead and initiate our first trade, and let's see what people are willing to give me for Will Simpson. Prospects only, please. I could get some well-regarded relievers. So Will Simpson does have option years left. Is Will Simpson still valuable as a backup in the minors? I think the answer to that is a very clear yes. So this, knowing what this is, that this is the market for him right now, I am pleased to keep him and see how things turn out over the season. See if we can improve his trade value a bit. Okay. So, back to Mr. Goss here. JJ Goss wants stability at a pretty fantastic rate. Even if the only thing he does is play a platoon, he's useful. I see no reason not to give him the money he's asking for. I just don't. I think this is exactly the kind of deal that's going to make us better in the long term. And if it turns out that he outplays his contract, this is very easy to move. So I'm just going to not hesitate. I'm going to ask for a response. I'm going to submit the offer to him. Easy pick. We have 3 relievers that are all wanting free agency. But all 3 of them combined are not as valuable as Jordan Walker might be. So, I'm going to take a quick pause on that. Let's go ahead and offer some minor league deals. 1 for you. 1 for you. 1 for you. Okay. I need to figure out, do we have a better third baseman on the roster? Other than Gunnels, who's not going to be playing third base again. Defense-wise, we have Guidry. If all we cared about was defense, Guidry would be a pretty solid choice. Kazono is fine in second. Is fine at second. Brooks, Bird, and Sheehan are all basically the same player replicated, where Sheehan can hit and play a little bit, but the others are just better. Sheehan will always have a place on this team because he's so damn flexible and can play so many different positions. So he's definitely going to be on the team next year without question. And none of you are left field or third base on a course. Let's check the minors. You know what? This is the perfect time to use the depth chart. If I go under player development, it'll be on the left-hand side here. Yikes. So they're like John Correa, who's many years away. Jamie Bradshaw's not terrible. And Jesus Quintero. Let's talk about Jamie Bradshaw for a moment here. He's a good contact hitter with good gap power, doesn't strike out much, and plays a pretty effective third base. Is he a starting third baseman for a team with playoff aspirations? He might be. How are we doing on contact hitters right now on the main roster? I have 2, and then it goes downhill quite rapidly from there. So Bradshaw is definitely a possibility. Definitely a real possibility. Do we want to promote Bradshaw and trade Walker? If I trade Walker, thinking out loud, are we save money. That's the reason to do it, right? That's where we keep... That is the objective here. We could then spend that money and do other things with it. Oh, I remember Demutio's problem. He's probably pissed off that I won't let him play every day. You're garbage against lefties, though. That's why Edgar Guzman is on the team. Right. I mean, I know his range isn't great. So he'd probably be... I need to test out the market, I think is what I'm coming around to. I need to test out the market on Walker. Because if I can get a quality prospect for him, it saves me $8 million, and that's money I can apply to a free agent. Or to keeping someone that I've already got. Is Walker by himself worth $8 million? The 2032 version is still a pretty good bargain at $8 million. But I mean, he's not that much better than Bradshaw defensively. And Bradshaw could be a better hitter. So, I'm going to shop him around, and we're just going to see what kind of offers come back to us. I'll start by just looking at prospects. Are there any interesting... No, they actually have an even worse market than Will Simpson. Okay, he's not very good. Okay. So Walker isn't worth that much. Do I keep him for a year and try to repair his trade value to the point where I can get something better for him next year? Well, how much money do I have right now? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send him ahead a couple of days and let these contracts start to sign and then see how much money that gives me. Let's just jump out to Gold Glove Day. Okay, I mean, the coach doing things here is whatever. No, I don't want you to be my bench coach. You know I don't. I want you to be my high A hitting coach. No, I haven't, had I? Oh, you're the one I wanted for first base coach. That's right. Really? Like, let me make this clear, dude. This is an internship. If you prove to be an excellent coach, you might end up being my bench coach. Yeah, Erdos is the one I was afraid of losing. That's for sure. Because of his overall ability, people probably want to hire him as a manager. And I know I'd rather be a manager than a hitting coach. Okay, a bunch of contracts have signed. What if Gunnels will now talk a long-term deal? Oh, I can't even offer him one because he just signed an extension. That's fine. Alright, now that a bunch of people have signed, I have $26 million left for salaries. Alright. Is there upcoming FAs? And third base. Okay. Let's start with saying Isaac Freitas would be fucking amazing, but let's also acknowledge we probably can't get him cheap. Even a Carlos Correa seems like a bad choice. Or an Alex Bregman. So this is kind of a weak market for third baseman. If Paredes is relatively inexpensive, I would definitely jump all over him. But other than him, I'm not seeing a lot of great choices at third base. Which actually helps. It helps convince me that I'm more likely to keep Walker now. But I do want to see... I do want to see... I wish you know how much money Paredes would want. Because I will happily sign him for 3 years. And let him just go to town. He's defensively excellent. He's a great contact hitter, good plate discipline, nice gap power, doesn't strike out much. He's a very calming presence in a lineup. And we could use that. We need another reliable contact hitter. We need someone to pair with Gunnels. Now, the question is, how much do I think he's going to want? Probably not less than $11 million. And he is comp eligible, which can be lose our first round pick. I wish I knew how much money he'd want. I wish I knew how much money he'd want. Okay. If I let Walker walk, I get $8 million back to spend on anything I want to. I might even consider like a Francisco Lindor for a season or two, just because we're so badly hurting for shortstops. This is a problem. I have 3 above average contact hitters. One of whom can't play every day. Sorry, 2 of whom don't play every day. I need another reliable contact hitter. It's got to come from somewhere. And Walker is not that. Paritas is. Paritas would instantly become the second best hitter on the team among the everyday hitting crowd. And we could definitely use that. We could for sure use that. But if Paritas wants like $25 million a year, could I afford it? Yes. Should I afford it? No. But the other thing to consider is Walker's skill set, which is power. And I've got more than a few hitters now who are capable of providing equivalent levels of power for Walker, who, by the way, also had a career low in power this season. Is it worth trading Walker to hope for a better third baseman, or, if Paritas is really expensive, giving the job to Bradshaw, who is a very capable contact hitter, which would fill a role on the team? I think any way I slice it, the only reason to keep Walker would be is if I absolutely don't think I can do better at third base, and the answer is I think that I can. And yeah, he's a little bit defensively than Paritas or Bradshaw. Absolutely correct. No questions there. I don't think that's enough to justify his price tag, though. I either want a middle of the order type, or I want a young player who'll pay for less money. And Walker is neither of those things. So I'm going to move Walker. The question is, to whom? Who has the absolute worst third baseman in the major leagues? If I do positional rankings, no, that's not the one I want. It is the one that I want, but it's not the one that's across the league. I think it might be... Here we go, positional rankings. That's the one I wanted. Alright. We are looking for the worst third base ranking in the majors. 20th for Cleveland. 21st for Columbus. Miami is 26th. 28th over, or 28th, there's, that's 9th. '23rd, 21st. Okay, I'm going to start with the Nationals. I'm going to tell you why. Because their very best third baseman is one that's about to be traded. So I'm going to talk to the Nationals. I'm going to be like, yo, how about a third base upgrade? And their win now. Beautiful. Okay. They don't have any cash available, so I can't ask for money, which is fine. What do I want from them? Frank Fuentes is really good, but he's actually a reliever. He's not a starter. Like, I don't care what he's trying to sell you. A guy whose third pitch is a crappy changeup is not a starting pitcher. They're a reliever. But he's a very good reliever, potentially. And you don't like that at all. That's a complete non-starter. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, your problem is you have nobody that I want. Do you have any Major League players I might want that I know I could possibly get from you? I could get Blaze Jordan back. Yeah, or not. How about Juan Soto? I'm just kidding. There's no way in hell you'd give him to me. Even if you did, I wouldn't do it. He would fix a lot of problems, but no thank you. The Cardinals are loaded at third base. I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to get a good offer from the Cardinals. All right, Padres. Wait, where did this guy come from? Why would I want Paul Pelser? I don't dislike him, but I also don't want him. No thanks. That was random. It just randomly picked a player and said, you want him. I mean, do I? Nope. Thought about it, but nope. So let's right away assume I can't get any of the top three here. Like, I don't see any scenario in which you give me Nick Rosrio. I'm going to try. I'd have to give you something pretty special in order to get him, and it's just not worth it. It's Aiden Maldonado, our Maldonado's evil twin. Yeah. All the places I could use upgrades at, you can't actually give me an upgrade at. So the Padres are a bad fit. The Mets are indeed weak at third base. I don't need a right fielder. Like, there's a lot to be said for a great relief pitcher, but he's pretty raw yet. Any interesting prospects? Somebody I could sink my non-existent teeth into. Okay, I quite like Mike Card. He's very intriguing to me. But I also don't think I'd have a spot for him in the lineup. I love his discipline, and I love his ability to... he's a good hitter with good speed. He maybe doesn't have a great position, but I'd be happy to get Card. I just don't think he'll give him to me. And yeah, I'm basically giving you one of the best players on my team in order to get him. I don't want Card that badly. No, Alex Arriaga is the kind of player I like to take a chance on. He's the kind of player who just needs a position and consistent playing time. What about Mr. Arriaga here? You want to give him what, even less? Fair. That is a fair statement. Colt Stevens is a decent reliever. Polito could be a starter. No shame in that. I guess my biggest issue is I'm not seeing anyone who makes my team better right now, and that's fine. But also, I'm not seeing any prospects I can really get excited about that I can get a hold of. Look, a guy like Arriaga, I would happily trade for, but you want too much. You're overvaluing your prospects. I could just ask for money. I think the issue is Walker. Walker's overvaluing himself to the point where no one's going to want him other than for like pennies on the dollar. So I think I'm just going to shop him around. I don't think this is a productive use of our time today. I'm going to shop him around. I'm going to look for prospects and regulars, and we're going to see what shakes loose. I'm trading him. I've made that decision. I've gotten what I want to out of him. I'm trading him. Oh, I thought it said RF. That's RP. Absolutely not. I'm not trading for a reliever making $8 million a year. That's ridiculous. Plus, you used to be on my team, dude. I'm not fixing Pittsburgh's mistake for them. Carson Applegate is a pretty solid shortstop. But the problem is he's already overpaid. By a lot. And unless Oakland is willing to eat a pretty substantial part of this contract, there's no way in hell that I'd make it. Would you give me 75% of his contract back? Yep, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm not doing it, dude. I am not saving your payroll at the cost of my own. I'm not that generous. So here's my question. Theo Gillen is an outstanding shortstop. He's a very good contact hitter. And he's been a pretty good base dealer as well. If the Nationals eat 50% of his contract, is it worth the deal? And he goes to much better shortstop. It even gives us a bit of a contact hitter. And it still leaves him with plenty of money to make other decisions. He's also fragile, however. And only played 100 games last season. And he was still worth 5 wins. Okay. I had to check. Such an interesting question. Walker and Demuzio. Edgar Guzman plays left field every day. Thus, thereby improve my contact that way. And I mitigate most of the risk. And I'd be set at shortstop for a very long time. What about 80%? Does that still get you Demuzio? No, 75 is as far as you'll go if I give you Demuzio. I don't like trading for fragile players. But I'm not footing most of the bill. Washington is. I'm getting a massive upgrade at shortstop. A pretty decent contact hitter to boot. And I'm getting an amazing defender. And he's entering into his prime. What am I giving up? I'm giving up Walker, who I didn't want to keep anyway. And I'm giving up Demuzio, who has this giant hole in his swing. Demuzio will never be an everyday left fielder. It's just not going to happen. Because he just can't hit lefties. And if I have Guzman in left field every day, or I find a new left fielder, I think we're better off. I'm doing it. And let me make this incredibly clear. I only did this trade because Washington's eating most of the salary. That's massive. I'm getting a player for way under market value, and Washington effectively thanks me for letting them have Soto back. Alright. That is not how I expected this offseason to go, but I think that is a major deal here. And I still have... Now I have $33 million to spend any way I like. Meaning I could still potentially sign Paredes and end up with one of the best offseasons we've ever had. And all it cost me was a limited player like that. And I will happily put Guzman in there every day. He won't be quite as good, but I'm more than happy to get a really quality contact guy. I promote Bradshaw to play third if I don't get a new third baseman. Yeah. Now, there's one other person to trade, and his name is potentially John Demers. Mr. Demers is an absolutely amazing power hitter who has, with a good bit of discipline, who has no other marketable skills. Who's also fragile, by the way. He is not, what the kids say, a good risk. He is from Prospect, Ohio, which is a pretty great place to be from, I guess, if you're going to be a Major League Baseball player. But his second base defense masks the fact he has terrible range and a terrible arm. I'd probably put him at first, but even then, he's a power hitter with few other skills. I'm not going to get him away for nothing, though. Don't worry about that. But it's something else to think about as we get closer to the start of the season. Okay. I think I'm done trading. I've settled all my arbitration cases. The question is now, will Goss come back? Do I want to bring back any of my relievers? I'd like to bring back Colina. And I think I'd like to bring back Santos. Solis, not so much. I don't think I want him back, but I do want the other two back. What do you want to come back? Oh, fuck you, dude. Santos, welcome back. Yeah, you're ridiculous. I'm not going to give you $14 million this season. I don't even want to pay Solis more. I get relievers too damn many other places. Alright, we got our first base coach. Right. John Santiso, you just kind of suck, my dude. I'm just going to cut you, I think. I'm going to waive and designate you for assignment for sure. Man, I meant to pick no. Alright, coaches dealt with. Very nice. We get Santos back. Who won a gold glove? Greg Middleton did. Congratulations, Greg. And Jordan Walker before I traded him. Nice. Yeah, now Middleton is definitely not my starting center fielder, but he's so damn good that I'm happy to keep him around. For sure. And we got Goss back. That's going to make the owners happy. A silver slugger for Go Fong Tian and Garrett Gunnels, as is expected. Are any of you interesting? Not really. Yeah, I can't really get excited about Kenichi Toyama, or Kenichi Oyama, unfortunately. I just don't think he's worth it. So I'm gonna pass on you. That problem will solve it. So, I got Rookie of the Year for Kazono, and I got Manager of the Year. Very nice. Yeah, you know what? Kazono was a really great choice by us. I didn't expect it, but I'm really glad that it worked out as well as he did. He was a big reason why we won 93 games last year. Holy shit, Garrett Gunnels got MVP. Awesome. Oh man, look how close that was. Gunnels barely earned that. A lot of people like Tercios. Hey, Gunnels was better. Unfortunately, dropping up Gunnels' price. So there's always a positive and a negative to every decision that comes out. Nolan Arenado? A 13-time Gold Glove winner is hard to argue. And he did hit over 300 homers and over 2,000 hits. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on my ballot. I like Arenado. Garrett Cole, yes. A Mad Bum, yes. I don't necessarily think either one of them are actually Hall of Famers. But if we're going to have any starters in the Hall of Fame, we need to start voting them in. Felix Hernandez, yes. John Lester. Joe Mauer. Yeah, Yadi Molina too. I'll be a sucker. Joey Votto, definitely. Ichiro, yes. And I think Chris Sale. I do think Buster Posey in real life has a way better chance of making the Hall of Fame. But this version of Buster Posey that retired in 2021, under 1,500 hits, you're pretty much doomed. There's pretty much no way you're making the Hall of Fame with less than 1,500 hits. Them's the breaks, my dudes, but it's true. All right, let's send her in. All right. How? Oh, you're being stupid again. That's right. Please use my highly paid scout, not random McJackass, to help me make my decisions, please. There we go. Oh, I want to set my game strategy again. I want to make sure that there is a universal 90 pitch count. Try to make sure that our starters are good to go for the whole season. I'm going to increase pinch hitting for pitchers because I basically don't want them hitting if I can afford it. And I'm going to step down base running ever so slightly. I don't want us to waste outs on the base paths. That seems good. Okay. Free agent filings. Oh, did those pieces of shit re-sign Paredes, or is he just not considered a top free agent? Oh no, he's there. Oh my lord. Okay. That ain't happening. If I gave him the contract he wanted, I would have no other money this season. Yeah. No. Mm-mm. Maybe he'll change his tune in a couple of weeks, and I'll be able to get him cheaper. But I ain't spending that kind of money. You can be sure of that. You're a terrible catcher, dude. Why would I want you? I will happily take Jeffrey Abreu. for sure. Um... $23 million for Riley Green is a lot to ask, and I don't think it's worth it. All right, what do we want to improve? We'd like to improve at third base a bit, although there is also just promoting Bradshaw. That option is on the table. Let's go and send Simpson to the minors and call it Van Zandt. That's going to happen regardless. Yeah, I guess a great left fielder is worth going after. How's our pen looking? It's looking pretty decent. I could very easily see grabbing a guy like an Austin Hayes, maybe. I mean, he is wrecked, to be fair. I like AJ Gracia, though. My problem is I don't have anywhere to play him unless we get a DH. Because I sure as shit ain't benching the reigning MVP of the National League for your ass. Eloy Jimenez has good power, but that's about it. I could bring Kyle Tucker back for $2 million. No, that's not what I want. I want the actual player search feature. No, that's what it's called. It's called Find a Player, isn't it? Here we go. From Pittsburgh area, just give me everybody. But I could probably get Alex Kirilloff for almost no money. That'd make people happy. Yeah, I'll offer you a deal. What the hell? I've made dumber decisions. Right. The next thing I want to quickly do is have a chat with Mr. Gunnels here. Okay, Gunnels is convinced he's only going to be doing year to year. That's not great, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure something out with that. Jimenez, I'm not convinced I want to bring him back yet. But maybe I do. He wants a bit of a raise, but I'm quite frankly might be prepared to pay him that. I don't know. Alright, amigos. I think that's all the free agency dealings I want to do right now. I'm pretty confident with the level of raw talent that we have right now. And once we get into the preseason, I'm going to reinvest in scouting and player development. Unless something like falls into my lap. But for right now, I don't really feel pressured to get a big time free agent because I just don't think there's one to be had. Go to hell. I do want to go ahead and promote Bradshaw. Partially because they're going to lose him anyway, if we don't. But also because we do need a third baseman. I think he's as good as anybody. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and waive to get him off the 40-man. Mota. Gaius and Cooper. I am designating all of you for assignment. Because I want them 40-man spots open for the really big guns. I'm going to go ahead and put Rene Vasquez on the 40-man for sure. I want to protect Rene there. I really want to protect... Is anyone going to take John Demers? Is my question. If I could read my crystal ball, is anyone going to take someone with no track record of success in the minor leagues? I don't think they do. I'm going to try to trade Demers and see if we can get a quality prospect for him. I just don't think he's going to turn out. It sounds terrible to bet against their own players, but I just don't think he's got much of a future in the major leagues. He might not even make the major leagues. He seems very edge case. I think I'd much rather have a Devin Dukes, someone who might turn into an excellent hitter. Josh Kemp. I really like the cut of Kemp's jib. I really do. It seems like he'll adjust enough power to justify his amazing plate discipline. I do like Kemp quite a bit. Yeah, Salgado, I don't want him. I'm a sucker for great plate discipline. You can't teach that as well. Josh Kemp, welcome to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Done. Are there any other top-rated prospects that I might want to put on the 40-man? Sergio, you're a garbage tier catcher. I'm not going to waste a roster spot on you. You're very green, my dude. But I do think you've got a pretty good amount of talent. But I'm going to let you do your thing for now. We are really thin at catcher. Like, ridiculously thin. I don't think I have a good backup in the system right now. That's problematic. For sure. Let me go ahead and protect I don't want to clog up my roster with relievers, so I think I might just sit tight for now and go from there. Like, if I don't protect Paez, someone's going to take him, I think. So, yeah, I guess I will go ahead and throw them both on there. We can see how they work out. It's hard to get excited about a lot of those guys. Okay. Nope, Wagner's not very good. Everyone with a third baseman is going to be harassing us now. I'm hoping that my offer to Paredes will convince him to come back to us if no one takes his ridiculous price. Yeah, I'm not taking back my own past third baseman, dude. I don't want your garbage ass third baseman. Oh, you all cleared waivers, as I expected you would. Right to AAA with a lot of you. Oh my gosh. They automatically take people off of waivers when you send them to the minors. I've been waiting for that ability for so damn long. That's a really nice quality of life improvement. I love it. I want more of it. Yeah, I wasn't going to pay that much money for Paredes. So I'm really signing Kirilov to take that I want a hometown player box. But I'm also not opposed to letting him get a chance to start in left field against righties. I'm going to also scope out the Rule 5 draft because that's also a pretty good place to find some cheap. You know what? I don't begrudge Solis signing for more money if he wanted it. I got tired of his inconsistency. I wasn't going to pay a premium for a reliever that hadn't been that great traditionally. No, I'm not giving up Van Sant. He's got a big role to play on the team this year. Untouchable, in other words. Here's the problem. You give me players that aren't better than Bradshaw, and that's why I'm not even talking to you. It's kind of an insult, to be honest with you. Alright. Rule 5 draft time. What do we got here? All players sorted by overall. It looks like it's mostly pitcher heavy, so let's look at all batters. Huh. No. It's old friend Hudson Head. Any really high potential sorts? A guy like Emilio Sandoval could be pretty great. Let him ride the pine this year, then send him back to AAA. I could get behind that. I really like a guy like Shishan Bu, though, because he's pretty much guaranteed to at least get on base really well. And that's always a valuable skill. He's from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm kidding, he's from Macau. But I had to make that joke, I'm sorry. There's also Cortez here. He'd be a pretty interesting one. But I don't really need more players like this. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take Sandoval for now. But if it comes back to me, I might take Boo also. What? Oh, do I not have a spot on the active roster? I don't think I do. That's right. I'm going to send down... I don't need as many relievers. I'm just going to send down, like, let's say 3 people so I can draft both. So I can take both of them on the Rule 5. Charting would violate current league rules, e.g. foreigner limits or age limits. Is my 40-man full? It is! Okay, I feel super down now. I'll waive Colette. Now give me Sandoval, damn it. There we go. Oh man, someone took Boo. I is having a sad. I could just claim Demers. That'd be pretty funny to have traded Demers and then just reclaimed him, but I don't have a purpose for him. Are there any catchers who aren't just the worst? A guy like Adam Shepard wouldn't be a terrible addition to our team here. Can I send Keith to the minors? I could, but I still need to clear off a 40-man roster spot. I'm going to go ahead and waive Brooks, and I guess I could trade Brooks, but I don't think anyone's going to want him. I'm going to go ahead and waive him, and we're going to go ahead and take that catcher I just saw. That Adam Shepard. And this is purely about getting another major league caliber catcher in the system. That's the only reason why I took him. Yeah, I think Keith maybe goes to the minors and we see what happens there. Alright, we got Kirilov 2. Who am I going to remove from the 40-man to fit on Kirilov? I don't need this many shortstops, so I'm going to go ahead and take Banderson off. And then add Kirilov to the Major League roster. I will admit this roster has a little bit of risk at third base now, but I'm hoping we more than make up for that with an incredible shortstop. I wish we could have just kept Noah Smith for that level of cash, but we didn't, so whatever. I wouldn't mind a truly exceptional reliever if we could find one. I just don't know that we can. Oh, but we'll see what happens. Oh, who made the Hall of Fame? Really? I don't think that's going to happen. I think Joe Mauer is going to make the Hall of Fame. It'll take a while, but I don't see him getting dropped off the ballot. He's too good for too long. I'm not surprised about a lot of these other decisions here, and Corey Seager. You slipped under my radar. I probably would have considered voting for you. This Corey Seager ended his career quite early. I don't think I can vote for him. I know peak matters a lot, but I think you still need to reach certain thresholds. Because, yeah, I don't think that would work for me. Sadly. Alright, as soon as the preseason starts, we're going to start reinvesting some of our surplus. Yeah, I don't care how unhappy the fans are. I'm not going to pay him $12 million fucking dollars. That's ridiculous. I genuinely believe we have a better roster now. I genuinely do. Okay. I got $33 million burning a hole in my pocket. And I can't get Gunnels to sign long term, which makes me sad, but that would be something I would do instantly if I could. I'll tell you what, Jimenez, we'll talk at the end of the season if you can prove you can stay healthy. If you can, I'm more than happy to bring you back. You're a terrific contributor to this offense. But if you can't stay healthy, then there's no point in me spending money on you. Okay. Are there any intriguing free agents that haven't signed yet? Let's have a gander. All players. I would love nothing more than to sign AJ Gracia. I have nowhere to put him. That's my problem. He's a tremendous hitter. And getting him for like $2 million is highway robbery. But I don't know where I would play him. Because I'm sure shit not benching Gunnels for him. Oh. You're also a bit of a pitcher. That is intriguing. I can't let hitter of this talent walk, I don't think. I'm not going to bench Gunnels for him, but I could give him a shot in left field. There's no risk. There's absolutely no risk involved. Oh, this is OSA. It happened again because I clicked on a thing. There we go. Why is nobody signing him? I'd even sign like a Diego Cartaya if I needed to. Done. Oh, my poor boy. I feel so bad for you. Are you kidding me? Did you legit get cut after they traded for you? Wow. Oh, that hurts. That is rough, my guy. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign AJ Garcia. Gracia. If no one else wants him, I will happily let him feel like a bench roll or something. Make him like a super sub. Maybe make him a pitcher, hell. I can't see a bat like that and not give it a try. That is utterly hilarious. That I got a significant upgrade at shortstop for basically an outfielder. That's pretty funny. I do need to make 2 spots on the 40-man for my new players. I'm going to go ahead and waive Keefe because I don't need 3 catchers. And I'm going to go ahead and waive Burr too. And that'll give me the openings I need. It is utterly hilarious to me that I got everything I wanted pretty much for less money. That's great. Okay. This leaves me with $25 million. I'm going to go ahead and increase my player development budget by $15 million. I'm going to add $5 million to scouting. And I think we're going to get involved in international scouting a bit this season. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that a touch. And we're going to do some more international scouting, I think. And I'm also going to cut back a bit on minor league scouting by 5%. And we're going to do that. And I'm going to do this. And this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to get crappy draft picks anyway. It's not the best use of my limited resources to invest so heavily in minor league scouting. when I might get a better bang for my buck with international. Oh, you know what? That uses free agent money, doesn't it? It doesn't use extension money. Let's kick this up to 22 million. I'm very pleased with this offseason. We fixed a lot of holes on this team, and I'm really excited to see what happens. Without reservations whatsoever. It's going to be a good time, I think. Greg Brush isn't great. Clayton Beater isn't terrible. And I don't think Grego here is going to turn out to much. So yeah, I will make this trade. I doubt it's going to make a big difference, but it could. And you all... Oh, Clayton Beater requires a major league contract? Huh. I guess we should have paid more attention, huh? Give me Juan Lopez. That seems good. I don't know if it would actually cost me money. What time is it? Excellent. Okay. All right. Spring training begins. Anyone I'd like to give a job to in spring training? Jeffrey Abreu for sure. Quinone, Spur. I think that's pretty much it. I don't really see anybody else here where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to promote that person real bad now. Do. Do. Okay. Right. Yeah. Do your thing. And equally do your thing. Give me a 6-man rotation. It is spring training. I want to get lots of people loose. Can we please stop? I am not going to let Nate Hyde start. He's just better as a reliever. I'd rather have a great reliever than yet another mediocre starter. So go ahead and give me... I'm just going to say Dave Albring for now. That'll be fine. Oh, let's go and put Manoah on the injured list so I can start making a decision about that too. Paez has a really good pitch mix. I think I would like to give you a shot as a starter as well. Okay. And then we're going to set Tian as the opening day. Or spring training opening day starter. And away we go. And while we're simming, I can wish some people on Facebook a happy birthday. There we go. I mean, we're winning spring training, not that that matters. Losing Carl Brown would hurt if I remembered who he was. Oh yeah, that guy. Whatever. I'm sure we'll survive somehow. Somehow. That one hurts a bit more. Matos, you're developing a very unpleasant pattern. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, quick pause. We're going to sign a free agent starter. Yeah, Wen Zhongku seems like a really good choice for us. Can I just get you for 1 year, please? Oh, the owner won't let me do that. And I don't think I can cut my player development budget anymore. Shit. Okay. Starter. Really? I'm going to have to keep a very close eye on the waiver wire, I think. You're not a starter, don't care. Oh, man. I mean, I've got a bunch of okay starters, but we're losing a lot of them. Oh boy, we're going to win the National League Central Division Spring Training Crown. That's exciting. And worth precisely nothing. Player development time. Zion Rose is getting better at taking walks. Van Sant got a little bit worse across the board, but also got better. Kazono improved. Walker improved, and Bradshaw improved. That's good news. And a boop. And a boop. Alright. That is completed. I have 40 players. Let's start getting rid of some of them. Alright, I have how many pitchers right now? I have 20. I don't need 20 pitchers. I feel pretty strongly about that. Paez. I'm going to send you back to AAA. So you can work on your pitching there. Do you really? I guess you do. I will actually keep Burr. I think that's actually... Oh, here's part of the issue. This guy was a starter last year. Why did you randomly turn him into a reliever? Don't do that, please. I need all the help I can get with my rotation. I was wondering why all of a sudden the rotation pool looks super shallow. Canones to the minors. Thorne to the minors. Manning to the minors. Burdette to the minors. Abreu to the minors. This gives me how many pitchers? 14. I need to get rid of one more. I think it's going to be Vasquez. We're going to give him a chance to improve a bit. All right. And then Burr gets put back on the 40-man. And Burr's going to be our 6th starter, I think. I think he's going to fill that role. Okay, so you're going to give me pitching ratings. Tiana's ace, obviously. That's like a non-dispute. Romo will be 2nd, and then we'll do Whitney, Lejeune, Deacudis, and Albring. I said Lejeune, Deacudis. And 5-man rotation. We'll start there. Charlie Burr, you're going to be emergency starter, long relief. Ramon Gonzalez is the best reliever on the team. So I think we go ahead and make him the closer. Only 8th plus or later. Baloo is going to be the setup guy in the 7th. Mr. Critcher is going to be our anti-lefty specialist. But I think he's also not bad against righties, correct? Yeah, he's not. So we're going to go ahead and make him a regular middle reliever too. Nate Hyde has some crazy stamina, so we're going to do long relief, middle relief with him. And then everyone else is on middle relief duties. With Santos on, use more often. No. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine as is. And then as the season progresses, we can decide who takes which roles in the committee. So this is going to be your opening day rotation. It's not perfect. But it's also not terrible either. I'm really excited to see how Whitney does with a full year in the majors. I think he's earned that job. And Albring keeps getting kicked around. I think this is going to be a fine season for him to either lock in his job or be permanently passed over. There's not really 2 ways about that. Cuts down to 33. I need to get rid of 7 players. There ought to be position players. Simpson to the minors. Easy choice. Bradshaw, I would like you to play in AAA now that I have Walker. I'd like you to get some experience there and continue to improve. Burden's great, but Sheehan is a much better use of a roster spot. Plus I have Guidry, so Burden to the minors. Caleb Hampton to the minors. Gracia, you're playing left field. I'm a little irritated that you were set as right field. Like, I know you're not great at position. I'm willing to let you learn on the job and let your amazing bat prove yourself. many outfielders are there? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 outfielders. That's too many. I wish I could send Sandoval to the minors because he's really not going to get much playing time this season. But I'm also going to send Guzman to the minors. And I'm going to send Middleton to the minors. Even though he won a gold glove. Because Jimenez is going to be my starting center fielder. I'm going to send down another pitcher. I don't like starting with 12 pitchers. But it's 5 starters, a 6 starter, and then 6 relievers. That should be good enough. And Schuster's frankly not that great. So I'm just going to go ahead and waive him. And that's my 26. Look, Kirilloff was... I'm going to make this perfectly plain to you. I signed Kirilloff to make the owner happy. That's the only reason he's still on the team. Because you like Alex Kirilloff. You think he's everything you want in a player and more. I'm not going to tell you no. So we're going to go ahead and go up to opening day, and then I'll actually set the lineup. The Villa Clara Naranjas have offered you a job as a first base coach. They're the Oranges, so, you know, you can't really say no to the Oranges. You're a really good hitting coach, though. I would like to give you an extension, please. There you go, my dude. What? Juan Soto get injured? I've never heard of that happening, he said, chortling. I will forever be in the debt of Juan Soto to make the Pirates, like, legit. But man, we got out of that when we should have, I think. You want me to be better than 500? I think I can manage that. I'm pretty sure my minor league system is going to look kind of trash. It's 8th. That is respectable. Alright, let's set the lineup. Nuke it. Alright, let's get the easy decision out of the way. Garrett Gunnels is the number 3 hitter. That was easy. Alright, from there. I think AJ Gracia is our cleanup guy. Theo Gillen hits second. And Mr. Jimenez hits leadoff. Against right-handed pitching. Against right-handed pitching. I kind of want to start Goss every day until he proves he can't handle it. So I will. Goss is going to bat 5th. I am going to go ahead and put Van Sant in utility now and make him an every 5-game starter to get him some reps in the big leagues. So that's all set. Kazono will bat 6th. Then Walker. Then Rose. Nope, I said Walker then Rose, not Walker and then Walker. I'm not going to have him play twice. That would be silly. Alright. So of the non-starters, Van Sant is the best hitter by far. So I'm going to go ahead and make him our pinch hitter. Shepard, you're going to back up at catcher. And I'm going to go ahead and let you start once every 10 games just to make sure that you get a regular reps. Guidry is going to be my backup at all of the middle infield positions. With Sheehan acting as his backup. I'm also going to go ahead and officially make Guidry the defensive replacement for Walker. If we're late in the game, I'd rather have Guidry playing third than Walker. For the outfield, the backup at left field is going to be Emilio Sandoval. And Sandoval is going to be my number 2 pinch hitter, as well as my number 1 pinch runner, with Guidry as my number 2 pinch runner. Backing up in center is actually going to be Mike Sheehan. With Sandoval as the tertiary backup there. Kirilov is going to back up here. And then in right field, it's going to be Kirilov to start out with, and then Sandoval. That's not Sandoval at all. That is somebody different. Kirilov is also going to be my number 3 hitter in the pinch hitting game, and then Mr. Shepard will be fourth rather. And I don't really see a reason to change any of these players up. I don't think any of them have big holes in their swing. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And we're just going to do it the same way here. Just like that. I don't think Van Sant has an issue hitting left-handed pitching, does he? He does a bit. He actually does quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and push Van Sant to the bottom here. And Van Sant will not be starting against left-handed pitching if we can avoid it. DH-wise, Mr. Green, I'm going to let you do this one. Yeah, that makes total sense. I don't disagree with any of the decisions you just made here. I especially like the idea of making Gracia the starting DH. I think that's very smart. Okay. I am really confused as to why I got Gracia for $1.1 million. But I'm going to take it, my friends. I'm going to take it every day. And we're going to see how good he can be. Because, holy shit, 84 contact and 80 power. I know he's not going to be a great left fielder. And to be honest, I don't care. I really don't care. I think he's going to hit more than enough of his value here. So, what has changed this season? Well, we've got 2 new position starters in Gillen and Gracia. Other than that, we've got a lot of turnover from last year's, including some unexpected turnover. I did not expect Mr. Walker to come back, but I'll happily take him for what we got for him. Sometimes they tell you to bet on yourself, and other times betting on yourself isn't very smart. I think this is one of those times. Tian is fully rested. He is my starting ace. He's going to ace it up. I'm a little bit concerned about the rotation. A little bit. But we'll get Matos back in May. We won't get Manoah back. We probably won't get Manoah back until like after the trade deadline. But getting Matos back will help, assuming he's the same pitcher he was when he left. And Charlie Burr, if someone in this current rotation gets hurt, Charlie Burr, I think, is going to be a pretty okay starting pitcher for us if we need him to be. He won't be brilliant, but he'll be at least replacement level, and that's got value in and of itself. In hindsight, I wish we devoted some resources to another starting pitcher or two. I didn't realize how thin we were in the rotation. But the bullpen is really strong. I'm pretty happy with the bullpen. We've got incredible bench depth for the first time in a while. Not just defensively, but offensively too. Kirilloff will hit the odd homer. Sandoval has the potential to be an everyday outfielder in a couple of years. And I can't say enough about Gracia. I legit don't understand why he is even available for me. Like, why did the Mets non-tender you? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, look, the Mets' loss is our gain. And I will play him every day. I don't care how bad he is defensively. If he's hitting 40 fucking homers with a 295 batting average, oh, that'll play. That'll play. But yeah, we're going to see what happens. But I am cautiously optimistic that we're going to again win 90-plus games, that we're again going to make the playoffs, and hopefully, with a bit more depth in our lineup, we'll have a chance to actually make that work. I also feel really bad for anyone who wins a Gold Glove with the Pirates because they almost either immediately leave or immediately lose their starting job. It be like that sometimes, though, unfortunately. If this team has a weakness, I don't love our on-base abilities. I have three above average players at getting on base by drawing walks. And one of them is a part-time player in Sandoval. That, I think, is our great weakness. I think we really upgraded our contact game. We have several above-average contact hitters. We've got a lot of power. But I am at least somewhat concerned about our ability to consistently get on base. If we do have issues or we're not hitting for contact as well as we might hope. Our biggest weakness is going to be Kazono, I think. I think Kazono gave us the very best he could last season, and I'm honestly expecting a decline. He's already 32. He's an okay contact hitter with okay power, but he's not elite in either area. As long as he plays great second base, I don't care. I will happily take another 3 to 4 win season out of him and call it a big victory. But I do worry about him long term. And despite what the game says, I am deeply concerned about the state of our minor league system. We have a couple of elite talents at the bottom, but they're going to be a while getting to the majors. We're very, very thin at catcher. And in fact, we look at our positional rankings. We're pretty bad in a lot of areas. I definitely want to try to develop some prospect depth in the draft this year and maybe even trade the odd starter or two to see what happens. Until next time, however, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.